to the EGF Upstate New York competition between what are the schools? RPI and Champlain, I believe, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. I am Roar with my co-caster.
Sandman.
Yep. How you doing, Sandman?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well, and we're here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. RPI is going to be running Confused Pube on the Faria. He's a very good Faria, top 500, and we're going to have Ibjack on the Mercy to pocket him as well. Paco on the Lucio, Grandmaster Lucio also, so got to watch out for his plays. Erase Mirage going to be running the Genji Winston, just to round out that dive comp with on Resign on Diva.
Yeah,
you want to talk about the defending team?
Sure, I'll definitely go into that. Looks like we're going actually pretty non-standard. We're going to go triple support with the Ana Lucy Symmetra comp, which I find kind of interesting because Symmetra most often, in my opinion, in my experience, takes the place of one of the supports. So I think they're going a bit heal heavy, and they're kind of, they're lacking some damage. And Rosine is probably going to be able to, try to take out the Pharah, but if she's going to be pocketed, and it's probably going to be a little difficult for them. But I'm just interested to see how well they do with this triple support. That's the thing that I'm a little leery about on their defense, just based on the lack of overall damage that they have. I mean, because the only other damage they're going to go with is hopefully a charge up Zarya, but.
Right, and Champlain's going to be setting up on this top high ground. Hopefully they won't get booped off. There's two different ways they get booped off here if Paco goes to go for the boop. But no, he'll be sitting on payload. Confused Pube going to be letting a lot of pressure on them. And Champlain's going to be pushing back already, not wanting to get an early pick.
Yeah, they're going very dive heavy right now, and especially with the Pharah, they weren't able to hold the high ground for very long. So right now they're just going to kind of stick in the server room, give them a whole lot of room. So that's gonna have something they're gonna have to correct here soon, because I can't imagine they're gonna jump into the server room at them. So they're gonna try to let them sit in there as long as possible, and hopefully they step out themselves.
Right, Max Mori's gonna be trying to step on the payload to contest, but now the rest of the team is just gonna get pushed back into the server room. Grendel goes down to Confused Pube immediately. Erase Mirage taking out Rusine. That's our hit scan, and no more Symmetra for the Champlain either. So at this point, it looks like it's gonna be taken by RPI pretty handily.
As I agree, not a single loss on the side of what RPI is red, right?
Yes.
Is that who there? Yes, RPI is red, and so not a single loss on the side of RPI, and they are sticking with the Sims still on the side of Champlain, which I'm kind of surprised about. Usually, if you're not able to get the Sim Shield Generator Teleporter up in that first fight, most often you switch just because you lose a bit of that utility on if you don't win that first fight. So I'm kind of surprised they're sticking with it. So
right now, Confused Pube is just going to be pushing up with the rest of his team to try to get some picks and stagger this second point as much as possible. It's almost impossible to deal with a Pharah on this who's getting pocketed. Racine actually going to be able to take off for Confused Pube, but an immediate solo res coming out.
Yeah, but quickly able to take him out again. So that was a very good job from Racine, knowing exactly what he's supposed to do as the hit scan. But now it's going to be double hit scan actually from Champlain, with Kilroy switching off of the Symmetra because they realized they weren't going to get a whole lot done with it, going over to the soldier, maybe trying to get a bit more damage out than they were when they were dealing before.
Right, the Primal Rage is going to go down, and also the beat drop. But look at all this free push that RPI had gotten without getting contested one time. They're almost at the end of the shuttle phase, and right now RPI is sitting on another barrage. And Champlain having used their beat drop, they don't have much of a countermeasure for that barrage. Confused Pube just going to be controlling the shuttle with Ibjack up on top. Even with double hit scan, this is just going to be so hard to break, or so hard to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. And right now, Hussein is the only one who's been able to take out to knock Confused Pube out of the air. So interested to see if Kilroy is going to be able, kind of show his stuff as the hit scan. But at the moment, Confused Pube is just kind of having free reign up there with Ibjack, just doing a very good job pocketing him, keeping him alive.
Right, the action on the payload, not quite going on. Not much going on. Erase Mirage finally getting a pick onto Rusine, jumping into the backline. Mirage coming out from Confused Pube, able to take out Fire Fun Bro, destroying his barrier instantly, and looks like the point's going to go to RPI once again, once they deal with all the stagger.
Yeah, it's definitely going in favor, and kind of a Not the best graviton there, if I'm going to be completely honest. It was a bit more of a desperation play, I think. You know, I'm dying. Let's just throw it out, see what I can make happen. But I think that's something they could have held on to just a little bit longer.
Right, I think they were waiting for a nano-boosted Rhine to just kind of like blender it, but he died pretty early on in the fight to Confused Pube's barrage right there. Now RPI seems to be pushing out once again, trying to get all these staggers. Very good coordination coming out from this team.
Yeah, I agree. And Max Mori is now going to be sitting on the Diva instead of the Zari, which is a pick I definitely agree with, especially with Confused Pube on the far. You know, block a lot of those rockets coming in, especially if if he's going to be dishing out rocket barrages. You want to be able to take out that damage, prevent the team wipes from happening. So very good switch.
Resign's going to be launching his self-destruct. Unfortunately, it lands on top of the bridge. Beat drop going to come out from Champlain. And going to be nano boosting Fire Fun Bro on the Reinhardt, getting a huge Earth Shatter, getting 2.
Yeah, so right now the fight isn't even going on at the point. It's pretty much going on way behind it, and there finally Confused Pube is able to get off a rocket barrage to take out 2, and then 3 going and killing Spyro.
Right, Confused Pube just causing so much grief in this backline, despite running the Diva and the double hit scan. They're just not able to take him out.
No, and that's always the thing that I notice as the hit scan. It's the situation of who do you want to go for? Do you want to take out the Mercy to prevent the pocket, or do you want to try to overcome the pocket and take out the Pharah? It's kind of a situation where if you just have to decide which one you want to go for, and I just don't think they're able to do it just yet. They haven't taken out either, really.
Right, Ibjack just finding so many good places to hide. Kilroy, just now, Kilroy missing a hook onto Ibjack, and now Confused Pube just gonna have another barrage shooting from way up.
That's such a good job from Confused Pube. They're building up a barrage in less than a minute, doing a very good job, just having free reign in the air, not being picked off at all. And it's this kind of thing where you really got to focus that far, because that is definitely the most dangerous element on that team comp. Yes, you had a Winston jumping into your backline, taking out your supports, but if you have a Pharah that's going to have free reign, there's not a whole lot you can do, because if you try to look at the Winston, the Pharah is going to then pick you off. And so they just had a very good job coordinating their attacks and pushes, and just caught Champlain off. They caught him on their back foot.
Right, and now it looks like Champlain's going to try to run the Widowmaker, and this could work out depending on how good a shot yeah, we're just going to go with Racine for the pronunciation. Looks Frenchish.
Rousen. See, some of these names it's kind of hard to tell. Like some of them are so easy, Resign and Hanji. It's Rousen. And Kilroy and Grendel. It's just some of the names. I don't even know half the time. I say, you know what, I'm going to go with this pronunciation. But yeah, it is going to go with the Widow. I'm wondering if it's going to be more of a early pick. Try to take out the Pharah early, then switch off, or if he sticks with the entire time, because he is going to be able to sit in the backline a bit more with the Widow.
Right, but if he's can take out the Pharah, then I would say don't switch off until Confused Pube switches off, because he's just wreaking way too much havoc.
Yeah, I agree. And Kilroy looks like he's going to try to answer Confused Pube's Pharah with his own, and Spyro is going to be his own pocket. So I think it's going to end up being a Pharah v Pharah fight, especially with the lack of hit scan on the side of RPI. They do have they have a Bastion, but that's kind of hit or miss when it's against a Pharah, depending on how good the Pharah is able to position herself. So,
right. Immediate hook onto Rousen. That's not gonna help at all, taking out Confused Pube.
No, now it is turning into the Pharah v Pharah fight, and you really got to land those body shots if you're going to be a Pharah trying to take out another Pharah.
Paco is also running the Zenyatta, so that'll make it that much easier for Resign to pick out anything, even if it's way too far away. An aerial battle going on over towards the coast, but not much happening over there. Hanji able to get a good hook onto Fire Fun Bro. And the point's actually getting pushed under the bridge. Finally, Resign going to contest, or erase Mirage on Reinhardt, actually.
I don't know how he did it, but Grendel did a very good job of surviving being hooked in by that Roadhog. And even with those 2 picks, it looks like it is going to go in favor, for the moment, for RPI.
Yeah, so you saw there, like, Fire Fun Bro able to chase down Paco, but just this lineup for Champlain is just getting picked off one by one, so ever so often. They're able to push this point really well, however. Resign switching over to the Widow.
Yeah, they are doing a much better job here than they did on their defense, using those dive tanks to move in and prevent the Pharah from doing anything, and kind of overwhelming the supports, and then eventually erased Mirage on that Reinhardt. So very good attack there, very good push for them.
Now we have Rousing switching over to that's probably a better choice, just because the 2 lives he had on Widow, I'm sure he got picked off immediately on Hog, and then another time by Confused Pube himself.
Yeah, the Widow really wasn't doing it. I'm not really surprised going with the Soldier. The Soldier is almost a necessity in most comps nowadays, and so especially if you're gonna have a Pharah, you need that.
Hunter's gonna be taking on the cart with the whole Hog.
And Max Mori trying to decrease the damage, doing a fairly good job, but not quite able to catch all of it. So he was able to take out one with it.
Max Mori able to take out Confused Pube.
It was a good job, and Ibjack is going to go into a single res on a Confused Pube. But that doesn't surprise me. He did do that last time as well. He did when they were pushing their own attack in the same area, almost in that same spot. Did a single person res on Confused Pube. But I'm not really all that surprised. When you have a Pharah doing work, you really can't be lacking that Pharah.
Now, I actually would like to see Champlain switch over to the Widow for this point, just because the shuttle is going to be so hard to control, especially when your Soldier can't really get up there. And Erased Mirage going to eat that entire barrage up. That's just an unfortunate misuse there.
Yeah, that was actually a very good job from Erased Mirage, just having that, that sense that waiting for that Pharah ult to come out, making sure that her defense matrix was fully up, and the only one standing on the point at this point, which I find kind of funny to watch, see a baby diva just sitting there by herself.
Right, and now Champlain sitting on 5 ultimates. Let's see if they can get anything out of it. Attack Visor going now, taking out Confused Pube. Max Moore able to take down Ibjack. Paco's going to pop his Transcendence, while Grendel's going to pop his Sound Barrier. Both teams still duking out on card. Fire from Bro able to take down 2.
And right now Hanji's up by himself. I can't imagine he'll survive very long, but he is able to jump out and come back with his team, or regroup with his team. And I can't necessarily agree with Grendel's use of his Sound Barrier there, because nothing was really coming out on the side of RPI. It was just some standard damage. And yes, the Transcendence came out on our side of RPI, but I don't know. I think the Sound Barrier could have had a much more, useful situation than that one.
Fire from Bro popping his Primal Rage to try to get some more staggers. I'm not quite sure if I agree with that, but his team is getting a lot of free push time.
Yeah, I agree. He did push him off quite a bit, so they are going to take a bit more time to regroup, and especially with the single tank up caught by himself. So it was only Hanji was the only one up there. He pushed everyone else back, so that wasn't the worst use of the Feral Monkey, but it probably wasn't necessarily the best one, because this is the time right here I think you probably needed to use it to push him off the point.
He's get the barrage from the back, able to pick out Grendel, but Kilroy gets it. He picks him off immediately, and then a res coming out immediately. Kilroy again taking out Confused Pube with the barrage. Rousing gonna be able to take out the Diva Mech and Ibjack. So it's looking rough for RPI. Hanji's gonna pop the rage.
All right, very good res there from Spyro, bringing back 2 of his people. And so they are able to push it quite a bit, but it looks like the spawn advantage is going in favor of RPI here, so they're going to have to retreat and regroup in order to get a proper push.
Now, after that res, I would have expected Champlain to be a little bit more aggressive, but the tempo actually wasn't quite reset with that res, so not the best res, I'm going to say.
No, it's because they did a very good res, but then they lost. I can't remember who it was. They did lose one almost immediately, so it was a situation where it's 5v6, and that's not a fight you really want to have, even if it is your 2 tanks and healers up. So it looks like it's just kind of a dive fight up on the top here. Confused Pube going to go in with the High Noon, not able to get a whole lot done though.
Now, Fire Fun Bro is just going to be popping his Primal Rage again, going to be pushing Confused Cube and Ibjack back into spawn. V-Truck coming out from Grendel to protect Champlain, but they're not able to... I was going to say, they're not able to get too much done, because this res is just going to keep everybody up.
Yeah, it's always something you got to just kind of be aware of, but a nice double res out of Champlain there. Grendel just able to stay alive, getting into that Winston shield, but taken out almost immediately with Confused Pubes High Noon.
Kilroy popping a Rocket Barrage, able to take out the Diva. The next gets taken down immediately. There's just no safe time to be using a lot of these ultimates, and Champlain's getting pushed back into their spawn. Confused Pube going off on this McCree.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job, and he's still being pocketed by Ibjack's. Still being pocketed by Ibjack's Mercy, so it doesn't really matter what he's going to be on. He's going to have a Mercy in his back pocket. And I'm actually kind of surprised that a lot of these holds and pushes are going as well as they are, because there isn't a whole lot of ult combinations. It's pretty much just throwing out an ult, and it works.
Max Morty's going to be switching over to the Roadhog, actually, to try to counter him once again. I'm liking how Max Morty's playing this. He switched to the Diva when Confused Pube was causing a lot of trouble on the Pharah, and now he's switching over to the Roadhog to try to pick off Confused Pube's McCree. Good res coming out from Spyro. And it looks like Champlain's going to go up in this fight.
Another single res on Confused Pube. We should just expect it now. It's like if Confused Pube dies and Ibjack has res up, it's pretty much going to bring him back.
Honestly, if Confused Pube is just having such a huge impact that you may as well. There's
I
only
agree.
10 seconds left in this match.
Yeah, he's building up his High Noon so fast. He's having one pretty much every single fight. He's going to have another one for this fight up here. He's going to be able to go up top, pop it.
Oh,
and shut down.
Yep, a great hook by Max Mori. Very, very value switch right there.
Yeah, that was a very, very good job knowing exactly, because that's where he was positioning himself, so he knew exactly where he was going to be. So very good job from Max Mori having that in his head, to know what to do in that situation. Not a good Earth Shatter, only capturing one from Fire Fun Bro. So, but he was able to take out Resign. But usually you want to try to make a bit more out of it, but he was alone, so.
Right, now it looks like RPI is going to be pushed off the point with a lot of these ults only getting 1 or 2 people, actually. So RPI stalling this out very well, going in 1 or 2 at a time, forcing out ults 1 at a time for every time. Eventually they'll be able to sit on another res.
They are, and Confused Pube is going in with another High Noon. Wasn't able to get anything out of it because he knew the Roadhog hook was down, but I think he just pressed it a little too quick. He was a little too antsy to get those shots out.
Yeah, but now both Mercies are sitting on res. Confused Pube able to take out Grendel very early in this fight. Taking out Mercy and Soldier with that ult, the Race Mirage. Very clutch self-destruct right there. And now it's only Max Mori on the point. Unfortunately, you can only deal with Confused Pube, not the rest of his team.
Yeah, he tried. Wow, he had already another High Noon. He had 2 High Noons in a minute. 2. It's crazy.
He's just abusing his positioning so well, and it's just always on high ground somewhere, sometime.
Yeah, that was his positioning overall was good, and I think he timed it well. As soon as he knew that the hook was down, he was going in with that High Noon, and there wasn't a whole lot else to counter him with. So he knew what to do and when to do it. So it was just very good, mentality. Just a good job knowing exactly what you're supposed to do. And he was on fire. I think 90-some% of that fight. I'm sure.
Well, now we're going to Lijiang Tower. This is a very, very, very Pharah favored map. Bets on what Confused Pube will be playing.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. Looks like Kilroy is going to be on the far. He is almost an insta-lock for the far. And then Confused Pube, no surprise, he's also going to be on the far.
Kilroy has been doing some work on Pharah. And it looks like, both teams looks like they're probably just going to opt to kill each other's supports as fast as they can, then duke it out on the rest of the point.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. It's going to be most likely 2-2-2. but it's going to be for flankers. Hanji, don't go trolling us.
Resign, stop.
Don't troll us. I mean, you might think you can get away with it. You might think, but don't be doing any of that nonsense.
Well, Champlain actually switching over to the Reinhardts and double hit scan and Diva.
Oh.
So looking to just completely counter Confused Feud instead.
Not a bad decision, if I'm honest, because they're going to go with actually a pretty anti-Pharah comp here with the Reinhardt shield and the Diva Matrix. It prevents a lot of the damage from coming out, and then that allows Kilroy and Racine or Rausen to go in and pick her out of the air.
Resign able to take out Grendel immediately. Erase Mirage, Confused Feud backline. Now they're just going to get picked off so fast. Max Mori last to survive on this point, just because he's Diva, just because he's one of the best stall characters in the game. But that's not what you're trying to do for this initial opening fight.
No, certainly not. And so Kilroy looks like they're going to switch up to a Winston, so they're going to go triple tank, be extra dive, just be, a bit extra tanky, maybe to help Spyro build up those nano boosts a bit faster, have those larger health pools.
Hanji just fearlessly going into the middle of Champlain, able to get out in time. Champlain just going to be pushing up slowly onto point. Hanji once again jumping in, gets slept, and immediately woken up. I would have let Firefront Bro just charge him instead. Confused Few going to be launching his rocket barrage, but Max Mori is actually just going to be eating up most of it. Still gets Firefront Bro with a rocket, and that's Champlain getting pushed back to their spawn once again.
Yeah, then you got Erase Mirage, able to take out Spyro. So it's going to be another stalled push from Champlain, and very good job from Max Mori though. Again, to be able to eat up that Pharah ult, but he is going to switch over to the Roadhog. So I'm surprised from the pick, but I'm not surprised based on the map because Pharah doesn't have as much room here to fly away from his hook. So if he's able to land a nice hook on that Pharah, you should be able to take him out.
I Confused Few able to take down 2 immediately, but it's just going to be camping on the side, trying to get as much spare damage as he can, almost hitting on another ult.
Yeah, he's getting so close, and the ult advantage is definitely going in favor of RPI here. With Confused Pube, he's going to have it in this next fight, and you're going to have the Riz and the Genji Blade, and Kilroy's going to be on the Bastion. Interesting choice.
I think they're at a loss for what to run, to be honest. They switched to Reaper for a little bit and didn't really give it much of a chance. Now that barrage, the 3 ults going off right there, the Graviton, the Rocket Barrage, and the Dragon Blade. Maybe a little bit overused, but they still have an Mercy ult, and the match is almost over anyways.
Yeah, it's definitely that. There's no way they're going to be able to get back on here, and I think Confused Pube, I think that Rocket Barrage took a lot out of him because he immediately had to take a nap. He was just kind of being over on the side, just out of the way. He's like, okay, I did what I had to do. Just gonna kind of catch some Z's real quick. Just don't mind me. And usually that's a good thing if you are able to take the Pharah out of the fight. But Spiral, while landing a good sleep dart, the rest of his team was pretty much down except for Racine. So not a whole lot you can do as a solo Ana.
Right, and that's the hard part. Even though you're running an Ana to sleep the Pharaoh or whatever, Confused Pube is playing this so well. He's playing like around his boosts or his concussion blast and getting him to a position, immediately ulting, picking off like 5 people before you even know he's there. And it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, he's having such a great game, and I just don't think they know what to do at this point. They're almost going to the comps that Racine is going to switch off of the Tracer. I think he was thinking about it, going to go to the Soldier, but I think they're almost giving up on taking out Confused Pube because they haven't been able to do it just yet. So I'm wondering at what point they're going to try something that'll, be a very hard counter.
Paco getting booped and along with landing his own boop. Confused Pube just running a train on these people, getting hooked by Max Mori actually. Not the best engagement for RPI actually, despite a very good opening.
Yeah, taking out getting that early pick didn't seem to matter a whole lot for him. Taking out Grendel, but Grendel was able to take out one of the tanks, so that did take out a lot of damage and a lot of health for the healers to help build up their ults with. So very much better job. Yeah, Hanji, you can tell he's breaking a gate just to make sure he can get him over there.
Hooking to Winston, taking Fire Fun Brow out immediately. And now it looks like Confused Pubes is going to get landed some more. Oh, slept immediately. Good sense by Spyro. Still gets taken out by the Barrage, however. Erase Mirage is going to be cleaning up with this Dragon Blade.
Yeah, that's what I notice as I play a lot of Ana, and you can sleep. You can sleep the Pharah who's ulting. You can sleep the High Noons, but more often than not, you're probably going to end up dead from those two ults. You can sleep it so that you can take them out of the fight after that, but you usually end up dead, and that's kind of the bit of the double-edged sword when it comes to the sleep darts is Ana.
Champlain's just going to be trying to run into this middle courtyard. Erase Mirage getting taken out by Max Moore. Hanji able to take out Rusine.
And then Kilroy, I think he was a bit mad, so he ended up taking. So we're pretty much trading 1 for 1, almost completely here.
Trading so well. Ibjack going down, however, so no res for RPI. Resign looks like he just jumped off or something. I don't know. There's no kill marker right there.
Yeah, I think he pretty much jumped off. I don't think he got booped. I think he was running away from the Reaper, and he's like, my team's dead. I'll just regroup with them with this.
And Confused Pube getting hooked, but not killed. It's actually very hard to kill Pharah sometimes, because Overwatch does this thing where it likes to teleport people maybe like 2 feet above where they're actually supposed to be when you hook them.
It's that server lag. It's a problem. So the only thing saving Confused Pube there was Hook 2.0.
A lot of ults coming out. Rousing getting taken down immediately despite popping his tag visor. Whole Hog and Barrage coming out for RPI, and that's the point. Still sitting on a res and sound barrier, so they can hold this for a good while if they play the cards right.
Yeah, they definitely should be able to, especially with Nano Boost. The only thing being in Champlain's pocket. So, but Fire Fun Bros is going to be on the Reinhardt now, so they're kind of going for a shield, which I don't really disagree with, because they don't have anything to protect them against any Earth Shatter. So hopefully they're able to make something work with that.
Right, and they had the Reinhardt for a bit, but I'm not sure. The RPI is just spread out so well. They're always landing a couple good picks too. Confused Pube and Ibjack always in the air. Pucko off wall riding somewhere, probably like booping a back line. It's gonna be hard for him to land a good Earth Shatter unless they're all just planted on point.
Yeah, that's very true, but it's the kind of situation where as long as you can get a couple of them, the Earth Shatter and the picks don't necessarily need to. You don't need to necessarily get all of them. You can get a couple important picks, take out a support, take out a tank. Hopefully you're able to get something done, but Erased Mirage, pretty much stalling him right here, doing a very good job, just going in with the blade, taking out 3.
Erased Mirage able to land a very, very good early pick onto Diana, onto Spyro. And that just opened the gates for him to Dragon Blade and to the rest of Champlain's backline.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot they could do with that, and they didn't have a whole lot of defense for it, because I think the sound barrier came out in that last fight, so they had really no sustain, to help keep anyone alive. So that was a foregone conclusion. That was going to go in favor of RPI. All right, so this is definitely the Pharah heavy map. If I'm honest, this is the one where you really want to get in, go for those boops. So let's see if we can have I want a Pharah v Pharah fight. Looks like we are.
This one where you see it on Reddit all the time, and let's just hope both teams go white.
That's the hope. Let's see. I'm just kind of standing back right in the middle. I'm waiting to see the boops. Although I wouldn't be surprised if both teams actually go to the back. But
going for a bridge, actually.
Oh, and didn't get a single boop out of either one. The Diva Matrix, you could tell the Divas had their matrices up to prevent those boops, but both of them actually missed.
Resign able to take out Sparrow. Confused Pube taking out Kilroy. This is already so heavily favored for RPI.
And then Grendel's almost going to go down to save the Winston. No, B's actually not going to go down first. It's going to be his tanks. Going to be his tanks, and Racine on the Tracer are actually going to go down. All right, and finally Confused Pube able to take him out.
Very good job by Resign to just chase down Spyro on the Mercy and put a lot of pressure onto him, because even though Mercies are supposedly very safe up in the air, that doesn't mean a diva can't just chase you and keep spamming you with her infinite ammo. Keep you from regenning. Rowden's going to be trying to make RPI rotate back onto the points by stepping on it for a second. Rest of Champlain following suit, going in through whites.
Uh-oh. Looks like Kilroy's kind of caught up by himself, doesn't have the mercy to pocket him. But it looks like Confused Pube is going to have to rotate back, so he was left alone just long enough to be able to take his 60 health and survive with it.
And Confused Pube actually shooting the barrage, but Max Mori able to deal with it pretty well, taking out Ibjack in the process. And this looks like RPI will still be able to hold this. Maybe they're going for the stagger on the Max Mori.
Yeah, right now it's just the Pharah Mercy, so interesting choice to go up there by themselves.
Right, I think Champlain just needs to group. Paco, can he survive this? Will he survive? Paco will.
He's trying.
Oh, he's so close.
And he's dead.
Oh, so unfortunate.
Oh, that was almost a boop on Grendel there. He almost got knocked off the edge. He was able to get a couple with the sound barrier, but he almost lost it. Confused Pube almost knocking him off.
Now that's what happens when you, now that Diva Bomb is what happens when you boost straight up immediately and pressure Q immediately also. You wait, you have to wait a couple seconds or else you'll just blow it up way above point and nobody takes any damage from it. On the other hand,
kind of
that's
that
the point for
zone.
Champlain. It looks like the point for Champlain.
I want to call him Champagne.
Champagne.
I want to call him Champagne. But good job from Fire Fun Bro there. Taking Hanji out of the fight pretty late, actually, knocking him off the edge. That's going to give him up to probably around 25%-ish before they're able to get back on it. Ooh, Hanji able to take out Racine, being a bit too far in the back line.
Right, and also whiffing that pulse bomb. Not the kind of
that's not
value
what you want.
Hanji getting another pick onto Grendel this time, and then erase. Launching his Dragon Blade, getting taken out by Kilroy pretty fast, and Champlain doing a very good job stalling out this point. The res going off.
The situation with Erase Mirage is actually better than that. He tried to go after the Mercy and Pharah in the air. He ulted just for them. He dashed and fell right into the pit. It was even better than Kilroy killing him. I watched that entire thing happen. It was great. That's the kind of stuff I love to see. Things like, I got him. No, I don't. Right into the pit.
RPI still looking to. Actually, no, they're switching Hanji off of Winston. Probably just looking to put a lot of pressure onto Lucio, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna go the 2 dive tanks to try to increase their chances against the Pharah, maybe?
If Jack with no one to fly to falls into the well.
The well seems to be a problem for RPI here, so maybe this is the map they're gonna lose. Let's see.
They are coming up on 99%. Let's see if Champlain can hold this. If he's able to take on Rousing, he's sitting on a pulse bomb. That's very unfortunate. Hopefully he gets back to the point in time. Grendel and Paco both going to be popping their sound barriers. Both teams just stalling out the points, trying to fight. Primal Rage coming out for Fire Fun Bro. Just wreaking a lot of havoc onto the point. Resign able to take down Grendel. Kilroy killing himself. Not what you want from a Vera, especially with one who's sitting with the barrage. Racine finally landing his pulse bomb onto Paco. And Confused Pube not going to die on points, or not going to die. Well, he will die, but he's actually going to use his barrage on points.
Yeah, he is going to get taken out. The only thing that he just tried to get his rocket barrage off, wasn't able to do it. It was eaten completely by Max Mori's Diva.
Right, and Champlain's actually able to get back onto the point. Kilroy's still sitting on his barrage. Let's see if they have to use it. They most likely will, especially since Ibjack is sitting on a res.
Oh, and Spyro taken out very early. Confused Pube taking him out, not able to build up any more charge.
Right, and that's very important. Ibjack also going down. Both no res for either team. Kilroy finally popping his ultimate. Resign going to be popping a great Diva Bomb. Erase Mirage sitting on another Dragon Blade, able to take down Kilroy, taking down the Diva Mech. And now he's on fire. He said it. And now looks like RPI is going to be able to take this point if they can just do a little bit more damage. Hanji popping his Primal Rage to get back on the point. The res coming out for RPI. Can Spyro land his res?
Alive.
Yes, he does.
All right, so right now they're actually doing a very good job stalling it out. So I'm actually getting kind of excited for Champlain here. Are they able to take this particular round? It's not looking too bad for them right now.
Right,
right now they do have numbers.
Grendel able to build up a sound barrier. Paco also sitting on a sound. He's gonna pop it right now. That's just so much sustain for RPI. This entire Champlain squad just can't take them down for it now. Paco finally going down to fire fun, bro. Paco's just such a slippery loser, and now it looks like they're finally stabilizing, able to take the point. Over the timer just going down so fast. Confused Pew launching the barrage, but it's too little, too late. Max Mori takes him down, and that's one on the board for Champlain.
Man, Champlain really came into their own there. They kind of collected themselves a bit more there and were able to make something happen. So that was a very exciting fight. That fight alone took, a few minutes, and that was strictly in overtime. So that's the kind of fight you like to see when you're watching an Overwatch match.
Right, that overtime timer.
Stressful. Watching
that overtime. It was going down so fast. As soon as one of the teams stepped off the point, it was maybe like a third of a second tops.
Yeah, at that point the game is like, all right, I want to get this over as fast as you guys. So if you toe off of this point, I'm done.
Hanji's gonna be switching back to the Roadhog. Rousing gonna be on Widow, hoping to deal with Confused Pew. Resign on the McCree actually. Both teams running a half counter to Pharah's, half counter to or half Pharah Mercy, half her counters. Kilroy taking out Paco. Hanji able to take out Max Mori's mech. That's going to be the damage reduction gone. Kilroy, however, doesn't care. Able to take down Hanji and erase Barrage. And Rousen's going to be taking down Confused Pube. Champlain has figured this out pretty well.
Yes, they've done actually a much better job here. And Grendel getting a nice boop there. There were a lot of boops going on. Kilroy booped off Hanji, and then right there at the end, Grendel booped off Resign. Very good job from them. Like, as I said, they've kind of come into their own now. They've kind of figured it out, I think. They've, worked it out, so they're able to get some picks here. And Soldier is going to be kind of trying to go around the back by himself with Kilroy in his butt. He's just going to fire rockets right at his butt. He's not going to survive very long.
That's unfortunate. Both the hit scans for RPI getting taken out. Kilroy going to be popping his barrage, even though they're up like 3 people. Not quite sure if I agree with that usage, but...
It wasn't the worst, I mean, because Kilroy built it up fairly fast. I wonder if Kilroy and Confused Pube switched computers, because Confused Pube is no longer going to be on the far. It's going to be Kilroy, the only far in the match right now.
Right, Kilroy's just controlling this match actually pretty well, just because Rousen's able to take down Resign that last fight, and Confused Pube just running off on point for some reason. I'm not sure quite what was going on with him, but now that he's on Soldier, it's probably just looking to hard counter this Pharah. But no, Resign gets taken down again, this time by the Pharah himself. Primal Rage coming out from Fire Fun, bro. Hanji able to stay on with a nice charge. Max Mori taking down Ibjack. Ibjack actually switching off the Mercy onto the Ana, and Erase Mirage going to be taken out. Confused people able to take down Kilroy pretty well, actually. Paco trying to get away.
Trying his best, but Max Mori, he wasn't having any of it. He definitely didn't want any of that to happen. I'm surprised that Racine is sticking on the Widow, because I understood it when Confused Pube was on the Pharah, but at this point, I'm kind of surprised he's, sticking with it. And with a Soldier now right on him, I don't know if he's going to survive very long. Nope.
Right, Confused Pube is actually doing some work on this Soldier right now. I think both fights, he's taken down Kilroy like almost immediately, and that's what you want from a Soldier when you're trying to counterpick a Pharah. That's what you want. The res coming out from Spyro, able to take back the point. Graviton going down, catching 2 members of Champlain. Spyro still sitting on point, healing up these tanks. Ibjack also just trying to keep all his tanks alive. Nano Boost going down onto Resign. So much damage from this Diva, just close quarters, spinning in circles. Just spin in circles, Resign. That's all you have to do damage.
That was actually very, very good from Erased Mirage there, holding on to that Graviton, knowing or at least expecting that Mercy Res to come in after those few picks, popping it and then cleaning it up after that. And Spyro, though, I have to say, already a 57% ult after just using the res. So very good job getting those final heals in, staying alive just long enough to almost build up another one.
That's going to be a lot of ults going down from both sides. Rocket Barrage coming out, able to take down Confused Pube onto McCree. That's a huge source of damage for RPI on, but then Spyro sitting on a res again, somehow building it up that fast. Despite all the ults being thrown out by RPI, they're not able to hold this point.
Hanji, can you get on? No. A nice boot from Kilroy, able to keep him off just long enough.
And just like that, RPI getting a run for their money from Champlain. Score is 2-2, and we're going to, I think, Control Center. Nope, Garden again. We only played on Control Center once.
Interesting. I'm sometimes confused about the roulette that it goes through. Like, it should be this one, and yet it's this one. So, but yeah, so we might be seeing a reverse sweep here with RPI taking the first 2 rounds, but then Champlain, kind of figuring themselves out and figuring out a bit for RPI, saying, no, we don't want to lose that fast. Come on, guys, we can do this. Able to take out 2. So we're having a match right now.
Now Hanji's going to be switching over to the Reinhardt for this point instead of the Hog or the Winston that he's playing. Ibjack's going to be on.
Fire Fun Bro, barely able to keep himself alive.
Rousing
Paco again.
Shot on the Confused Pube. Paco taken out by Grendel. Very good boop, and RPI just not really figuring out a good solution for this team. This Widow and this Pharah combo are actually just wreaking havoc on them.
Yeah, as I said, it's like I wonder if some of these players like switch computers or something, because Kilroy, who didn't quite, wasn't quite there on the Pharah, is now kind of showing Confused Pube how it's done.
Right, and I don't want to call Confused Pube a one trick, but because his McCree is amazing, but the Pharah is obviously not going to work. He's switching over to McCree, but Rousen's actually just landing a lot of great shots onto these squishy people, and they need to run something to shut him down, and they need something to shut down Kilroy, because he's also been doing some work. But right now they're just looking to do a little bit more damage, which will be very rough when there's a Rhine Shield that you have to hide behind, but a team that really doesn't care about Rhine Shields, between the Pharah, the Reinhardt, or the Vera and the Winston.
Uh-oh, Fire Bruno falling into the pit. Jumped to try to save his life and ended up losing it.
Right, just as I say that, Fire Fun Bro just dies immediately. Grendel getting a good boop onto Resign, taking down both the mech and the pilot.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that from Ibjack there. Using the whole hog in that particular fight, with down 3 or 4.
Right, it was probably just a desperation ult at that point. I wouldn't be surprised to see him switch. Maybe
he's sticking on the Roadhog actually. Yeah, he came immediately out of spawn. Something. I actually thought the same thing you did. I thought he's gonna switch because use it in that point. That's what you kind of assume, but no, he's sticking with it.
Now RPS going to try to approach for white again. Fire Fun Bro going to jump into the back. Going to pressure both Confused Pube and his Ana. RPI down both their supports. Grendel going to be popping the Sound Barrier. Fire Fun Bro popping the Primal Rage, able to take down Confused Pube. Resign popping his Diva ults, able to take down Kilroy, but that doesn't really account for the rest of Champlain. We're holding this point just so well. Spyro's also sitting on a res for any emergency. RPI not really splitting their focus between the Pharah and the Widow, really.
And then Confused Pube comes in with a very good high noon, taking out Racine and Grendel. So being down to Lucio, doing some very nice work. The res come in and might almost completely undo it. We'll see.
Right, a good res by Spyro, but it looks like RPI more than ready to deal with that. Just the positioning, the post-death positioning for Champlain, not the best. Confused Pube just able to play duck hunt, essentially, hitting everybody with whatever he wants. Already sitting on 85% ults again.
Wow, and he just used it. That was very good job from Confused Pube. He Yeah, he used his high noon, took out 2, and after that res, he took out at least another 1. He might have taken out 2 that I missed, but very good job. You know, taking out Racine on the Widow both times.
Right. No,
okay.
Racine's gonna be switching over to Tracer. Gonna fall into the pit. Looks like the pit curse has moved over to Champlain. Ibjack getting a good pick on the Fire Funbro. That's gonna delay their push for a little bit. It's not that big a deal. The RPI is only at 30%.
Yeah, they have plenty of time to regroup and even go in dry a couple times just to help build up some alts. And another high noon come from Confused Pube. Not able to get anything out of this one though.
And just an all-out brawl on this point. Very, very good coordination by this RPI team. Actually, gonna group up for the grenade and Peel coming out of Paco. Rocket Barrage coming out of Kilroy, killing himself, but also taking down Ibjack and Hanji. And
yeah, don't know if I necessarily agree with that. That Rocket Barrage there. I don't know if that was necessarily the best place. You were already down 2, and yeah, I don't know. Even if you could take down 2, there's not a whole lot you can do in that fight, especially when you're down a tank and a healer.
Right, Paco's just going to parry them right back. Spyro sitting on a res. Let's see if our Champlain squad plays around this res. Beat drops coming out from both sides. Confused Pube getting bullied by Max Mori on the D.Va once again.
Very good job from Fire Fun Bro, taking out the healer and going for Confused Pube again. I don't think Winston likes McCree very much. That's what it's looking like for this match. Fire Fun Bro going after Confused Pube. Confused Pubes McCree, if I can get that out properly.
Yeah, Fire Fun Bro just running a train on this team, actually getting 3 kills, 3 solo or yeah, 3 final hits onto RPI. 99.99 on this final map. Another nano boosted high noon, able to take down Racine.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be enough because right now it's only 2v3 on the point, but taking up Max Mori out of that fight from the mech at least.
Right, a 2-man res coming out from Spyro. Let's see if it's enough. Grendel getting taken down by the D.Va nuke. It's not what you want to be doing when you're halfway to another ult. Rocket Barrage coming out from Kilroy, able to take down the D.Va mech and Ibjack. Fire Fun broken his feet, clean up the D.Va. And it looks like RPI can't hold this point unless Confused Pew switching over to the Tracer, able to jump onto the point. Race Mirage switching over to the Mercy. And
there's a lot of switches.
A lot of switches going on, but there's just way too much meat on this point for Champlain. Resign gonna be hopping onto the point. Confused Pube still alive somehow, despite 4 members of Champlain focusing him, but Champlain is able to hold the points. Everybody jumps off from RPI.
Wow, that was certainly a fight. And Confused Pube getting the play of the game again. So we're out here. Yep, immediately slept. As I said, as the Ana, that is the worst feeling ever. You get that sleep, you stop from doing the damage, but you die anyway. Alright, that means we are going to go to everyone's favorite map, since it's right now 1-1. Tie game. Ooh. I'm excited about the potential, if I'm being completely honest.
I'd like to see what these teams choose to run, because there's actually a pretty good variety of options for both sides. Yeah,
I agree. This is the one where I kind of expect Racine, as I'm saying it, in the middle of saying it, he picks the Widow. Not on attack as much. On attack, I don't think the Widow has as much utility, but this is the map where I see a lot of snipers, whether that's Widow or Hanzo.
I see. Confused you. Gonna be on the Mercy for the assembly phase, switching over to the Pharah. Probably just prompting Ibjack to switch over to Mercy, actually.
Yeah, so it looks like for attack,
Champlain on attack.
Yes, it is. So they are going to be red again. So they are going to go fairly dive heavy. They're going to go with the Pharah, Winston, D.Va. So they're going to go pretty dive heavy. And hopefully Racine is able to make something happen with that Widow. Kind of get on the high ground, get those early picks. Maybe take out Confused Pube. Take him out early in the fight. Prevent that Pharah damage from going out. But as I said, I'm not a massive fan if I get the words out, of Widow on attack. On defense, I think it's a bit better just because there's more positions to get to, and it's easier to position yourself. But let's see if Racine's able to get something done, because he is a fairly good shot, able to get some, able to get some good picks. But I noticed that he never sticks on the Widow for very long. I think he quickly realizes that he wants to do it. He really does, but I just don't think.
There's not much shutdown from RPI for this Widow, and the fact that the rest of his Champlain's going to be diving in just gives the Widow that much more space to work with. We're going to have to see if the rest of the team can play around Resign's barrier. Both teams just pressuring from long distance. Great hook by Hanji, able to take Max Mori out of his mech.
And Confused Pube taking out Racine, so not able to take out the Pharah, but then again, Racine really wasn't looking at him.
And Max Mori going to be stepping onto the points, able to get a good 16% out of that, actually, just in case it comes down to the wire.
Not a bad job from them. Max Mori getting out of the mech pretty early, actually, but just kind of sneaking through, his baby diva, going in and, say, I'm just going to take some points. Me and Lucio are just going to, take some points behind your back. It's okay. Don't look back at us.
We're seeing actually landing a good shot onto Paco. Paco on Deanna, actually, instead of Lucio. We'll have to see. Yeah, Fire Fun Bro switching over to Reinhardt. They're going to try to contest this big health pack. Shield going down, but now Hanji's just going to be popping his whole hog. Doing a lot. Kilroy actually getting 2 picks onto Resign and Paco. And Confused Pube able to take down 2 as well. Both supports down for Champlain, and looks like they just have to duke it out on point with these two huge tanks. But Confused Pube landing a huge barrage, and now that's the point for RPI once again. Not giving up any more percentage than they had before.
Yeah, that was actually a very good defense out of RPI there. Even losing a few early on in that fight, and the whole hog not getting a whole lot done, they were able to eventually clean up. Very good job from Confused Pube. I think he did the most work in that fight, taking out 2 or 3 on his own, and then cleaning up the last 2 tanks with his rocket barrage.
A nice concussion blast by Kilroy onto Resign, able to get him down on the high ground. They get focused down so fast, but then a good res coming out from Ibjack, able to keep the rest of his team up.
And Fire Fun Bro trying to charge in, but quickly hooked in from Hanji. And so that was definitely no-no.
Now, Confused Pube getting slapped out of the air. We're seeing able to take him down, but immediately getting taken down in response by Hanji. Both teams going to be fighting 5v5, but the spawn advantage will be in favor of Champlain. Going to be running onto point. Max Mori going to be popping his whole hog. Just a ton of damage on point. Resign getting knocked up onto the high ground, actually. And now Champlain's going to be able to take the points. Max Mori doing some work.
Let's see if Kilroy is able to take out Confused Pube, because Confused Pube's caught up by himself.
Oh, and a massive direct into the face. How's it feel, Confused Pube?
I was actually worried about Kilroy in that fight. He only had 60 health on the initial confrontation with Confused Pube, but he was able to make it work.
Now it doesn't look like Champlain's in much of a hurry. It's going to be content chipping away at the shield. A couple people running around. Racine, along with Max Mori, trying to get a cheeky side pick, but Resign rotating very well, able to keep the shield in front of him. Grendel popping his sound barrier, but a big Earth Shatter coming out from Fire Fun Bro. And Nano Boost coming out from Resign.
Oh my, this is actually a very surprising fight here. I did not expect it to go this way with how the alts were coming out from Champlain and RPI. But they seem to be working, especially with Kilroy going in with that pretty late barrage, but able to take out 2.
Right, they've already gotten 2 ticks onto this final point. I'm a little concerned that they're continuing to fight right now, actually. But actually, Confused Pube going down very quickly. It's a pretty even fight at the moment. And just as I say that, Champlain go down 2, and they need to pull out right now.
They need to back up, either go in deep and die, or back up and live. Those are pretty much the options they're working with right now.
Right, and Fire Fun Bro taking the Q and charging way backwards, leaving his entire team behind.
You don't need shields. I'll take my shield with me. It's okay. I think for at least the next couple of fights, what would benefit Champlain here would be to go in dry. Go in, draw out some ults out of RPI, so that way you can go in with your own, try to win some fights of your own. I think that's
right. And I think RPI realized that since they are at an advantage, they're gonna try not to be using ults, unless it's gonna get like a 5-kill. Just I say that, confused pube. Why would you prove me wrong? But they're going to be duking out in the middle of the map, actually. No clear advantage for either team, but at least the spawns are closer to for RPI on the actual points.
Oh, no, no one. Whoa. Ooh.
Everything all right, Sam?
No, so my computer was messing up. I'm viewing things, then I'm not viewing what I want. Someone's like, hang on, that's not what I wanted.
All right,
anyway.
all right. Looks like Kilroy able to take out Ibjack very early in his fight. He's sitting on a res. That's not good. Sound barrier going down, but not enough to save Resign from the barrage. Confused Pube able to take down Spyro. But he's still able to get his nano boost off. Both teams trading pretty evenly. Spyro popping his res, and tac fires are going down from Rusine, only taking down Paco before he gets earth shattered or killed by Confused actually, and then the rest of the team gets earth shattered by Resign. Good defense by RPI, but now they're sitting on no ults.
No, they're not, and it looks like Kilroy, based on history, I think he should be able to build up another rocket barrage pretty quickly here, but Grendel is going to have the sound barrier going into this fight, so they are going to have a bit more sustain than RPI is, so hopefully they can make that work for them. I think Grendel just needs to hold on to it for a second or two longer than he has been, because he, I think, is a bit too preemptive. Right there, I think that was popped just slightly a bit too early.
Yeah, but Race Mirage has a Diva Nuke, no shields for Champlain except for the Winston bubble, so it could be really good for zoning the people off the point, just for a last-ditch effort. Kilroy getting pocketed by Spyro, actually. Good hook by Hanji, but now this point's just getting just an all-out brawl going on this point. Everybody's dying except for Confused Pube in his pocket.
No, he was able to build one up pretty quickly in that fight, you know, just to end it. It wasn't particularly necessary to use it at that point in the fight, but at least if you want to make sure to clean it up, it's not necessarily the worst spot, especially with only 30 seconds left. You want to make sure you have it. And Erase Mirage is going to have the Diva ult, and without the shield, as you said, the Winston bubble is the only thing they have. After it's been popped, you know you can use it. Just place it on the point.
Now this is not going to be good for Champlain if it comes down to that. Good anti-heal by Spyro onto Resign, but Confused People taking out Spyro. That's just a huge source of healing gone, and no sound barrier in sight for Champlain. Whereas Paco is actually very close to a sound barrier.
And here it comes, right there.
Good self-destruct, able to take out Grendel. And then Paco immediately with the sound barrier. They're able to zone this point. Only Fire Fun Bro on points. Popping that Primal Rage, jumping up, trying to do a Miro stall, but unfortunately, they're unable to take the points.
Yeah, they weren't able to take it in the end, but they did get quite a bit of percentage. They did end up with 80%, which, as we just saw, it's a lot harder than you think to get that high percentage. And so I'm pretty hopeful for Champlain's chances here, because they have come into themselves now, so they are able, I think, to hold them off. And Wursine is going to be on the Widow on the defense, but as I said before, I think the defensive Widow is a bit better on Temple of Anubis than Attack Widow. So I think he is going to be able to position himself in a way that he can make sure Confused Pube doesn't take out the rest of his team early on.
Right, there's just so many good hiding spots for Widow on this first point. Like, be up on top of the building where the small health pack is, or over towards the large health pack on the upper left of the point. A lot of places that he could just hide. Max Mori gonna be running the Diva, looking to shut down Confused Pube's Para once again.
Yeah, and right now the only thing I'm surprised with is Fire Fun Bro is gonna. Well, I won't necessarily call him out per se. They're going without the Reinhardt. That's what I'm kind of surprised with. They're going with the dive, defense which is kind of hit or miss, in my
Honestly,
opinion.
I think they could do it if they keep jumping. Because what's been happening in those last few fights, Confused Pube kept repeatedly getting picks onto Spyro, who's on Anna, whereas now Spyro is on Mercy. He has a way to escape, and Grendel, he just has to spam spacebar or something. But now, like, really only Rusine is going to be put in that position, but he can deal with the Pharah if he's ready for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's going to be the #1 target he's going to have to look for, is that far, because he's going to be up pretty high almost right away. So as long as you have your eye out for it, you should be able to take him out pretty quick.
Time to watch this reverse dive. Fire Fun Bro, Kilroy, and Grendel sitting on top, and they are going to engage 3v6. Erase Mirage getting taken out very quickly, actually.
So far, the defense looking actually fairly good for Champlain here. Fire Fun Bro is going to go down, but Rusine now, after that positioning, not quite able to get the damage.
See, it's just so easy to escape. But Confused Pube, I still able to kill him, but he lasted that much longer, and this lineup is actually a lot more mobile than you would think, and very good at escaping death. And you guys need to stop dying. I sound like an idiot right now.
I know, it's because it's hard to keep up. It's like, this person dies. Oh no, this person does. Like, they did this. But they are doing a good job holding them off right now, and the spawn advantage is going to be in favor of RPI, but there are enough people still left on the point. They were able to hold it out for almost a minute and a half by the time they, were able to cap this point.
Not quite understanding the stall, or sort of understanding the stall. If anyone else were to jump, their motives. But now RPI going to be running onto this point against the full Champlain squad.
Yeah, and we're seeing pretty quickly going to go off the Widow, because second point defense isn't the best place. But Kilroy doing a very good job taking out Confused Pube early on, 5v6.
Right now, Kilroy sitting on a barrage, so they have that out if they so need.
Let's see, very good. Yes, very good job from Champlain here, taking out the healers and taking Confused Pube out. That's a lot of damage being taken out early in that fight. So very good job from Kilroy and the rest of his team. Getting those early picks, the very important picks, stopping their push in its tracks almost immediately.
Right now, a lot of very powerful ultimates for both teams. We'll have to see how they use them. Res for both sides, actually. Barrage for both sides, even.
Yeah, this is gonna be a bit more. It's going to lean toward Champlain here, at least in the sustain department, with Grendel going to hold on to his sound barrier, able to stay alive just that little bit longer.
Right, and Spyro's just going to be able to avoid death. Both barrages coming out. Confused People able to take down Res. We're seeing Kilroy able to take down Resign. Erase Mirage getting Spyro immediately. Very, very valued Dragon Blade. And getting taken down by Fire Fun Bro, actually. But Confused Pube able to clean up a couple more members of Champlain. Max Mori popping the D.Va to stall. Very good decision because Resign was dead. No Reinhardt shield for the rest of his team.
Definitely taking advantage of the respawn advantage that they have right now, because that fight was not going in their favor, especially after Spyro went down from Erase Mirage's Dragon Blade. But they were able to restabilize and come back in and push them back.
Right, now Spyro is still sitting on his res, and RPI have not even gotten a single tick. RPI going to be trying to walk into the point. Resign really all by himself with that Rhine shield. I'm not quite sure what purpose he's serving at this point, besides holding Earth Shatter. Just waiting for Fire Fun Bro to... Oh, the baits by Fire Fun Bro. So a single swing into the shield up. Baits out the Earth Shatter, and now, but still, RPI able to land a lot of good kills onto this team. Spyro is going to be hitting the res soon. Ibjack hitting the res already, and a two-man res for Champlain, actually. Not 2 value. Fire Fun Bro landing the pin onto Hanji. But now Ibjak's just going to get a ton of charge from that again. Actually, no, Ibjak's going to go down to the Earth Shatter. Racine, you're going to be able to take down Hanji. Confused Poop taking out Spyro. That's no more res for you. And now Grendel's going to be popping a sound barrier, and despite the fight almost looking won.
Now that fight, there was a bunch of trades going on around in that fight, so it was almost 1-for-1 for most of it. Even after that res, only getting 2 out of the 4 that were down, the respawn advantage brought the 2 back pretty quickly. And the sound barrier, I don't agree with that particular sound barrier, just because of that. There's another point where the fight was almost won. It was in your favor. So I don't think that was really the place for that, especially with the race. Erased Mirage is actually down. Very good job from Racine taking him out with his with the pulse bomb. But Erased Mirage is going to be coming into this next fight with the Dragon Blade. So let's see if he's able to make something happen with that.
And taking down Resign. Racine is just going off on this Tracer, just doing a lot of good work. I'm sure Kilroy was also involved in doing some of the damage there. But right now Racine is lighting up the kill feed, and RPI need to pull out. Confused People actually going in as I say that, taking down Kilroy, taking down Grendel, gonna be putting up in the barrage, taking down Racine also, 3-man res for Spyro, and all of that just undone in an instant. Earthshatter once again by Resign into the shield of Fire Fun Bro. Oh, and just missing saving Resign with that sound barrier. Max Mori gonna be able to stall the point a little bit with his that self-destruct. But Ibjak getting solo Earth Shattered, taken down by Fire Fun Bro. Confused People able to take down just that massive HP pool that Reinhardt has, and Champlain just kind of scrambling to hold this point down.
But it's actually not the worst way to do it. Yes, Fire Fun Bro did only get the single-man Earth Shatter, but it was on Ibjak, who did have the res at that time, so it was a very important pick. It went down fairly fast after that, but it did allow them to stall out a bit longer.
I actually think RPI need to focus fire a little bit better here, just because your 3 targets are gonna be Tracer, Mercy, and Para. You need them because they're just gonna be causing such hell on the point. Grendel's sitting on a sound barrier actually. If he's able to come back to the fight, then he's gonna be able to keep Spyro up long enough for a res. Kilroy taking down Confused Pube in the middle of his barrage. Confused Pube actually able to take down a couple more with that barrage though. And now the sound barrier coming out.
Yeah, RPI is just not quite able to get the as many picks as they need to do the changes they did to increase the respawn time. They're just staggering them a bit too much, taking 1-for-1, one here.
Oh, and a huge barrage coming out from Kilroy, triple kill, and a res by Ibjak. Spyro's still sitting on his res, but right now the rest of the members of Champlain need to die before Spyro can swoop in, seal that play of the game.
There's that 4-man res.
Big Earth Shatter by Resign, able to take down Racine and Grendel already. Spyro going down, also Confused Pube getting so many good picks. Hanji taking down Reinhardt, and just Max Mori on the point with Kilroy. Kilroy getting pressured by Erased Mirage, and looks like it's just Racine now.
Racine and Grendel are both on there, but they're pushing them back pretty hard. They are down 2 on the side of RPI, so it is looking good. Their defense is looking getting pretty solid.
Down by Grendel, those damage buffs, we're doing so much for Lucio. Now looks like Champlain's going to be able to hold this. RPI only able to get a second tick, and that's game.
Wow, that did none of that. None of that went as much how I expected it, just based on the first showing on Gibraltar.
Yeah, that first map was a little rough, but I props to Champlain for pulling that back. Yes. Reverse 3-0 on Li Zhang and full hold on second point of Anubis. Props to them for pulling this out. That was quite a spectacle.
Such a good job. That was probably one of the most exciting matches I've seen in a while for Overwatch. That was just, there's so much going on. It was kind of hard to keep track, and it was just it was exciting to watch, and it was amazing.
Confused Pube with his 3rd play of the game.
Well, you got to go for the hat trick. I mean, if you're going to play in a game, might as well just go for them all, right?